What's going on, pursuers? Welcome to The Pursuit of Calling, the podcast that provides you with the strategies and tools needed to successfully discover and pursue your calling. Whether it's through inspiring stories, thought-provoking interviews, or quick, insightful episodes on personal growth and development, we've got you covered. I'm your host, Thomas Carney. Enjoy the episode. Craig Groeschel said, "You might be one community away from changing the course of your destiny." So the other day, I attended a men's breakfast at Amplify Church, and we had an amazing turnout, strong sense of community, and my friend Pastor Ed delivered a powerful message. The key message, one of the key messages from that Pastor Ed was, don't walk through life alone, because men really like to do things on their own, and never pursue your calling in isolation. Surround yourself with good men who will keep you accountable. So this came in like kind of a perfect timing, because I was searching for this week's topic. I wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about. And then I went to the men's breakfast, and Ed talked about that. He talked about having other people in your corner, making sure that you're surrounding yourself with good men and now this, I'm going to caveat real quick, this episode is going to be directed more towards men, but everything will still work for women as well. But for men, surround yourself with good men who, I'm going to give this later in my notes, but who will lift you up, who will push you to be better than who you are right now and help you course correct whenever you're starting to miss the mark. So the message aligns perfectly with this podcast mission of you, the listener, pursuing your calling. I want to be a little bit vulnerable for a moment. I've lost count of how many times I've tried to do this journey alone. There were times I pushed away support, asking for help meant that I was weak. Or I never really thought about how asking for help would actually be beneficial instead of trying to do everything myself. But let me tell you something important. This isn't how life was meant to be. Today, we're going to explore some practical ways to pursue your calling alongside others who can support and encourage you. John Maxwell says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So one of the first point I want to make is look at who is already in your corner. Who do you already trust? Who do you look up to? Who are the people that whenever I say, who do you trust, who do you think about? And whenever I say, who do you look up to, who are the mentors in your life? Or maybe, and this might not be a person that you know personally. Hopefully you do have some people in your life personally for both of these, but there might be certain authors of books. Maybe there's like some of the people I'm quoting today. I think it was Craig Groeschel and John Maxwell. I look up to those men. I don't know them personally. I consider them mentors in my life. Then recognize your blind spots. Now, this one we're going to need some people physically around us. We all have areas we can't see clearly. We have weaknesses, patterns we don't really know about, gaps in wisdom. And, we don't know what we don't know. So, to be honest, I use AI to help me with my notes a little bit, and it gave me this quote, completely original. I made sure it was, but essentially, having these people in your corner, it's like having somebody hold up a mirror to your face. Now, what do I mean? It says the quote that AI made was, "You can't correct what you can't see." And sometimes it takes a brother to hold up a mirror. Whenever I'm looking in the camera right now, or maybe if I'm just like looking at a wall, or I'm just living my life, I can't see myself. I can't, sometimes I don't know if this is what it's saying, but part of what I'm thinking about, sometimes the problem is us, right? Sometimes we're the problem, and we have to have a brother hold up a mirror and be like, "This, do you see this feature? This weakness? Do you see this piece in you?" And they point it out in a loving brotherly way, or in a mentoring way. And now that you know about it, you can work on improving that area of your life and and continue to pursue your calling at a higher capacity than than how you were before. One thing, another thing, I want to ask you, who were you thinking of during that first question? Who do you trust? Who are your mentors? That type of thing. If you haven't written them down, I'm going to task you with writing those people down. Who are those men? Then share what you believe you're called towards. Share what you believe your calling is with these men. Ask if they feel like you're on the right track. Like, ask them if they feel like, if they know you well enough. Ask them if they feel like you're on the right track. Does this sound like something that's something that is at my core? Because that's what your calling is. Your calling is your why through life. Maybe they feel like you're missing the mark somewhere, or they notice where you can improve in pursuing this calling that is on your life. Maybe they're like, yeah, that is exactly who you are. That is exactly what I see in you. And then you can ask, how can I improve? How can I do this better? How can I pursue this part of my life better? Where are my weaknesses? And a better way to ask that is like we said before, where are my weaknesses? Where are my blind spots? What am I not strong at? So that will help you pursue that calling better. There's a quote from Tony Robbins I have that says, he said, the quality of your life is a direct reflection of the quality of your relationships. So do the relationships in your life that you currently hold hurt or help your calling? Are they helping you, or are they helping you pursue your calling better, or are they hurting you and pulling you back? Or even I don't know if could be worse, that is not just holding, and maybe it's not holding you, pushing you backwards, but it's holding you where you're at. So you're not regressing, but you're also not progressing. You're just maintaining. Do you get encouragement or belittlement? Do these people help you to keep going, or do they tell you to quit whenever life gets hard? Whenever you fail one time, they're like, yeah, man, you can't. They're like, yeah, man, that's clearly that's too much for you. Or maybe don't do that right now. Maybe they'll have some good advice. Maybe they won't say quit. Maybe they'll just say take a break, which isn't bad advice. But if they're telling you to quit, I would say that relationship probably isn't as good as maybe you previously thought. Then I have another quote. I'm a little quote heavy today. The only way to go fast is to do it together. To grow fast, sorry. The only way to grow fast is to do it together. That's a quote by Russell Brunson. So reach out to a friend or a mentor this week. Tell them what you're seeking to pursue, like I already said. What's a question that you would love the answer to when it comes to pursuing your calling? What is a question that you have that you would love the answer to? Maybe it's like I've coached people on with finances. I've coached people with one person I've mentioned before about writing their own children's book, and their calling is within that. Why they want to do that is within that. So maybe maybe the answer that you need is what your calling even is. And I have episodes in the past about discovering your calling that you can go back to and listen to. And I definitely recommend it if you do not know what your calling is, or what your purpose is in life, what you were created for. However, if you have a different question, you have a question where you already know what you're pursuing, but you're not sure what the next step might be, who do you know that can help you get that answer? Who can help you get the answer that you're seeking? Who is doing those things that you want to be doing? Who's really good at what you want to be really good at. Who do you see as a mentor in that space? I task you with that today, and we're going to wrap it up there. So guys, if you enjoyed this episode of the Pursuit of Calling podcast, please share it out on social medias. And man, I sound so old when I say social medias. Guys, make sure to give it a 5-star review. And guys, keep pursuing your calling. I'll see you next time.